Hello, I am Sean Sands from Gamers with Jobs, and we're here with Hearts of Iron 4, the new grand strategy game from Paradox, makers of, among other things, Europa Universalis 4 and Stellaris, and a whole bunch of other stuff. We're going to start a new campaign here. This game is just releasing today, and I got to tell you from the start, I'm not a big Hearts of Iron player. I have not played a lot of the previous ones. This is one of those games that has still pretty consistently run me off. We're gonna start back in 1936 and really build up. And I've also been trying to figure out who I want to play as. I mean, there's some pretty obvious choices. Germany seems like a pretty obvious one to potentially start off with. It's got kind of everything behind it. It's sort of the center of the conflict, but a little sketchy. I'm not sure how I feel about playing as fascist Adolf Hitler. Just I don't know. Soviet Union is certainly interesting, but it's just so big and kind of like just managing that country. I want no part of it. United States. Great if you want to just sit around for 4 years and build up a lot of infrastructure and wait for Europe to fall apart enough where they give you a call and ask you to come over and you can say yes. I'm interested in France. I think I'm leaning towards France. France has a couple of things going against it. Obviously, it's sort of at the center of the other. It's sort of the other half of the center of the conflict. And France does not do particularly well historically. It's got a lot of problems up against it. It's got kind of national unity issues, and it's still recovering in many ways from World War I. It has it's democratic. It has, victors of the Great War, less recruitable population, greater land doctrine research time. A disjointed government, less political power, or more political power cost for things, national unity. We'll get into what this stuff is once we actually start the game. National unity is sort of how strongly held together your country is, how easily it can be defeated or break apart or have different parties lose control. It is protected by the Maginot Line, which means you can do better planning, which means when we line up, there's this element of conflict, which is if you lay out your plans and then wait, it helps you plan. It gives you bonuses associated with that, but it takes longer to plan. So lots of little dings against France, not surprisingly. UK is interesting. Has a lot of holdings in Africa, has some holdings, has British Raj as well. Italy, Japan would be really interesting too. I think I'm going to try France. I think this is going to be a little harder. Maybe, I'm assuming. We'll find out, particularly for my first run through of the game. I will be, I haven't touched this game since an early alpha state about a year ago. And I'm sure quite a bit has changed, so there will also be a learning curve. Anyway, we're going to choose France. Why not? Despite the devastation of the Great War, France has been on the road to recovery thanks to a strong economy. However, the Depression has still affected the country, and the new German regime has no interest in paying the war reparations stipulated by the Treaty of Versailles. When the treaty was signed, the French marshal famously remarked that it was not peace, but an armistice of 20 years. Those 20 years are now rapidly running out. So we're selecting France. We're going to do regular. Why not do Iron mode? Sure. You know what? If we get just crushed, then so be it. Our leader is Edouard Daladier. Nope. Should know that name better than that. Ideology Democrat. We're democratic regime. Very close to a new election. And our ruling party is the Parti Radical. Apologies in advance. I will try and get some of the pronunciations of stuff right, but I have no natural French bone in my body that helps me pronounce this stuff. So, just apology. But we will start as Iron Man France. Okay, so in this first episode, I'm going to be going through just a lot of different stuff. I don't know that we will unpause. There's a lot to kind of get my head around here. Obviously, We have country France. We have this demilitarized zone, which Germany will almost certainly ignore at some point. And we have borders with both Germany as well as Italy. Within the first year or so, we can expect Spain to just blow up into a civil war. I don't know if that will be something we get involved in at all. Possibly not. I'm going to assume that Germany is going to start off by sort of consolidating its stuff down here, pulling Austria in, perhaps splitting Czechoslovakia up with Hungary, stuff like that. But inevitably, it's going to want to take Danzig up here, which is one of the ideas that it has, which generally is the point where war will mostly start. So let's just go down it one at a time. We'll start with our research. We only have 3 slots, which is kind of gross. I know Italy, for example, starts with 4. I don't know what Germany starts with. Again, I'll just learn a lot of this stuff as I go. What are we going to need? How is our industry? We have 36 industry, what is that called? Just civilian factories. 13 of those are committed to consumer goods. We expect our economic policy just automatically subtracts 13 out of those. So we have, 23 factories to work with. And we will probably immediately get those just building more civilian factories. I'm inclined to build, at least at first, more towards the western part of France. I assume that, once war starts, Alsace and Lorraine, these areas, Savoy and all these areas will probably get just bombed into oblivion. So I'm going to focus more of at least my initial factory building back here. So we'll build here and build some there, build some here in Aquitaine, Pyrenees, get a few of those. Just get some going kind of across the board. And we will max out Ile-de-France, why not? So that'll give us something to work with at first. Yep, we're building a plateau, Loire, Normandy, Aquitaine, all these different places. So yeah, I think that's job 1. Now, let's look at our research. What do we have available? So we have weapons, motorized, I think pretty much the same thing most people start off with. So I'm almost certainly going to just go after construction speed, just flat out construction speed right away. And I will go after research time too, since we are limited in the number of research we can do. Getting research up to speed needs to be a priority. I'm going to be more focused on air or land. Let's see. We have some tactical bombers, just old war fighters. We have anti-air, which is nice. We'll want to build some of that. We have some artillery. We have, let's see, the FCM 36 tank, some basic support equipment. I think the first thing we got to think about is just holding that line. Once Germany attacks and certainly Italy attacks, I think more than anything else, I just want to be able to hold position. So I think we will just take support weapons here, which just sort of adds a boost to everything: infantry defense, cavalry defense, everybody's defense, their breakthrough. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Good. So that's our research. We have some dockyards. Let's see, what are we building? So we have 6 military factories. Ugh, just 6? That's awful. We're using 2 of them to build 11 infantry equipment a day. Building support equipment, artillery, light tanks, motorized. We are using 7 of 8 dockyards. What do we have? Submarines. Why are we building submarines? Or why are we building these level 1 submarines, I wonder? Building some light cruisers. We have, looks like, a shortage of oil, so we might need to, we'll need to do some trade as well. Not that I don't care that much about the Navy. I don't think we're going to win or lose based on that. It's really going to be more Great Britain's things. So maybe we'll just do a submarine, add up a submarine to it. Let's see. Am I happy with this in general? Otherwise, I think for now I am. We should recruit some divisions. Go ahead and start getting some divisions going. What do I want? What are these? Light tanks and motorized versus these, which is all light tanks. I'd like a couple of tank divisions. And I'd like just some basic divisions as well. Mountain divisions are interesting, particularly because our lines, Alpine here and now obviously Alps here. So giving some attention early on to these mountain divisions might make sense. I'm going to train... let's train these here. Train some mountain divisions down here and... in Ile-de-France. And let's do a couple of lines of this one. Yeah, we'll add some parallel units of that. So these will be trained up as we get additional equipment. So we need infantry equipment and artillery, infantry equipment and light tanks. So let's go back here. We know we need a lot more infantry equipment. So I think I'm going to boost that. Boy, there's really nothing to boost. We don't have... maybe I'll skip the motorized for now. Just see if we can upgrade. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you can't take the last one away. Okay, well, we have got to get our infrastructure up and running here. Insufficient resources. We need 10 oil, which we can probably get from the UK, maybe. 16 oil for 2 factories. Is that the best deal I can get? Yeah, 16 for 2. Netherlands, that's nice. Okay. Good. And finally, a national focus. So I haven't really looked at this. What have we got? I like infrastructure. That's some civilian factories, some military factories, and then down to extra resource slot, or... So this would be more... This would be infrastructure in France proper. This would be infrastructure in Africa, Algiers, yeah. I think we'll probably focus on government reform, political power. So this is a way to kind of get that national unity in order, which I'm definitely interested in. But I think we got to start with this. All right, what else? Okay, so how are we doing on... Well, we'll come back to this a little bit. Production's done. Construction's going. Trade is taken care of. Diplomacy I'm not that worried about right now. And research up and running. We'll bump this up to speed 2, and we will get underway here. Cool. So let's start deploying our troops, I guess. Okay. Well, no, we can bump it down to speed 1, but go ahead and get time going. I want to create a couple of armies. I think these guys here are going to be an army in the French theater, and they will set a front line there, and then I think these guys are going to be an army as well, and they will have their front line right on Germany's border. And then maybe a third army, just sort of... Well, what do we have down in... Okay, so we have all this area down here as well to think about. We also have a very small holding right here, I believe, but we will almost... That's practically indefensible. Let's see, what do we got? So we have 4 divisions down here. No, 1 division and a small fleet down here. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's go ahead and set up this 3rd army. Make that a 3rd army. They're all going to be, let's see, Western Mediterranean, the French theater. And we need to give them orders. So we have orange, purple, and teal. Purple's up against the German. Why not just put them up against the German line? Like, you can't reinforce that enough, it doesn't feel like. Okay. Now we'll go up to speed 2. We have, looks like we have, okay, we have some more divisions here, so. We have a number of divisions down here, actually. Make that all 1 army for now, maybe. And create new theater. How do you change what theater? We'll just put them upon Italy's border here. I'm not worried about Spain, the UK, Belgium's good down here. It hardly seems like it's going to be a problem. I'm going to change the name of this theater. How do I do that? We'll call this the Algerian? No, another I. Theater. And its reinforcement priority is probably a little lower. Okay, good. Fulfilled import request. Why? We still need 1. Why are they only delivering 9? Because they are out. That's all they can deliver. It's fine. They're only down 1. Okay. Is this not part of anything? Let's assign them to this one. Yeah, front line right here. Good. Okay. I think we're also going to start exercising these guys. So particularly here, exercise helps. They consume some equipment, but they gain experience, and we'll also gain army experience associated with that. So they will become regular. I think they can upgrade to regulars. They are all to some degree trained. But yeah, I think we're going to exercise these guys as well, and why not all of them? Our manpower is a scant 319,000, which is kind of scary. Why are they in attrition? Why are they in attrition? It's because they're in mountainous region? I'll have to figure that out. There's a lot I'm going to need to figure out here. We still just need 1. Again, I'm not that worried about. Let's see. We'll boost the speed a little bit. We also have Sardinia. No, that's Sardinia, Corsica. This is Corsica. We will want to be thinking, okay, what all fleets do we have? We have this group here. We have some down here as well. And over here. What is this? What is this little area? Portuguese Guiana. Sierra Leone, Liberia. Okay, and the UK is Ghana. Spain here. Spain's going to be the least of our troubles, I think. Where are our planes? We have standby fighters here. Okay, so we have some in Normandy. We do not have much planes. We have 24 in Normandy, Calais 252, Provence to 10. We have some down in Tunisia, Champagne as well. So we need to be building. We need fighters. We need everything. This is vaguely terrifying. Okay, so not surprisingly, the Italians are lining up on the other side of that line. Cool. And we are sort of waiting here. What is our next elections? 1936. The communists only control 30% of it, so we should be fine being reelected as Democrat. At some point, once we have some political power coming in, which is coming in extraordinarily slowly, we will want to put in some political advisors to help us out. We can declare war on a country with the same ideology group, but cannot. Can guarantee other ideologies, guarantees lower tension. So here's our world tension up here. As that increases, we get ever closer to war. Protected by the Maginot Line. Having fortified the border gives France the opportunity to plan and prepare carefully, but it does sacrifice some flexibility in the event of something unexpected. So we don't really actually have a plan right now. Should we put one in place? I don't see. I mean, we aren't going to be pushing. That's not a thing that's going to be happening anytime soon. It's just the insufficient resources. Oh, poor France. I'm tempted to bring all the... Oh, we also have a naval base over here. What is this area? Interesting. So sort of the Syria area over here. Syria, Jordan, I suppose this is. Belongs to France as well. And we have 3 in 1 division. I'm not worried about that division. I would almost like it somewhere else. Just what is this fleet doing? Nothing. Nothing's what that fleet's doing. Cool. So we're early 1936. We have an election coming up. We have France France feels just in turmoil right now. Like everything seems scattered all over. Part of that is just, not having a solid understanding of the mechanics yet. I feel like I should be doing something diplomatically to secure. Let's see, we could improve relations. Well, no, that would cost political power we just don't have. So I'm not going to do anything like that. South Africa. It's a joint faction. Yeah, can't do that until world tension gets up. Land lease volunteers, expeditionary force. Those are all... It's all something to consider, and might be something I do when Spain erupts down here to reinforce the Republican forces. Let's see, tell me about Spain. All right, yep, of course you did. We have finished metropolitan France. The Germans have finished their first idea, which is to ignore that demilitarized zone we were talking about earlier. Several German divisions recently advanced into the Rhineland, marking the first time since the end of the Great War that Germany has forces positioned west of the Rhine. This is in clear violation of the Versailles Treaty, under which Germany is forbidden from militarizing the region. Unless we issue an ultimatum demanding their withdrawal, the treaty will not be enforced. UK must approve the agreement. Ugh. Yeah, I don't think we can do that. I mean, we'd lose a ton of political power, which we don't have. We would be even more disjointed, have less unity. We would join the Allies, but that's super soon, and we're not in a position to do that. Plus, if war breaks out, we just go into civil war because we still have a disjointed government against the communists. So, no. Let's see, against protest action. So we just dislike the Germans. So that means Germany will probably begin putting their troops here along that line. Let's see. I need to also be thinking about forts. Where are forts? Land forts. That's something else I'll probably want to include. This building inflicts an attack penalty. So at some point, so we have 10 of 10 there. We don't really have any down here protecting us against Italy, though. So that may be something I want to think about as well. Oh, national focus, right. We're going to keep going down our expansion line. This will give us a bunch more civilian factories, which will certainly help. Where are we at? So right now we have 36 civilian factories. The next one is going to be complete in May of 1936. So just a couple of months from that, we have this one down here, which will be complete in October. So we're slowly building. All right, what all do we have as far as a navy? All right, I'm going to look at that in just a second here. This day-night thing, I love it. Visually, it's great. I think I'm going to turn it off for now because it's just kind of, it's almost too much. All right, well, we have begun our campaign, I guess, as the French. Tough start in the sense just that it's France, and I think France has tough starts. 710. We've got a lot of lines up here. So we have these guys. I'm gonna 10 units, maximum attrition. I think we're going to redo that. I feel like that wasn't set up the way I wanted it to be. Okay. Yeah, so in a lot of ways, we're just sort of waiting for Germany to make its move, which it will inevitably do. Though it probably won't start out against us. Anyway, yeah, so just getting underway with Hearts of Iron 4. We'll see how it turns out. As always, thanks for joining me, and until next time, my name is Sean Sands. We will see you real soon.